Rain tapped softly against the tall glass windows of the Lantern, an upscale restaurant in the heart of Harborview City. Inside, soft jazz played under the dim golden light, where laughter, clinking glasses, and half-spoken promises filled the air. Ethan Cole sat at the corner table, alone. The kind of man everyone in the room noticed but no one dared to approach. Billionaire CEO of Cole Industries, brilliant, respected, and utterly alone. His assistant had begged him to give dating another try, arranging this so-called final blind date before he gave up entirely. He sighed, adjusting the cuff of his expensive charcoal suit. "This is pointless," he muttered under his breath. Every blind date had been the same: forced smiles, fake charm, and subtle questions about his money. Just as he was about to stand and leave, the door opened. A woman rushed in, drenched from the rain, her hair clinging to her cheeks, her coat clearly not expensive but neatly pressed. She looked around nervously before spotting him. For a moment, their eyes met, her warmth meeting his cool detachment. She smiled, shy but genuine. "Hi, you must be Ethan." "I'm Grace." Something in the way she said his name made him sit back down. They ordered coffee instead of wine. Grace laughed softly when the waiter asked about dessert. "Only if you have something that comes with extra whipped cream," she joked. Ethan found himself smiling, something he hadn't done on any of his previous blind dates. Grace was different. She talked about books, her son, and her dream of opening a small bakery. There was no pretense. No attempt to impress. Just honesty. "Your friend didn't he mention that you're a billionaire?" she said, laughing. He looked up, startled. "Your friend didn't he mention that?" "Nope," she said, sipping her coffee. "But honestly, I'm kind of glad. I might be chickened out." Her answer disarmed him. For once, he wasn't Mr. Cole, the CEO. He was just Ethan. As the rain poured outside, time seemed to stop. Two people from different worlds, one with everything money could buy, and one struggling to make rent, found a rare kind of connection neither had expected. When the check came, she reached for her purse. Ethan frowned. "Please, let me." "No," Grace interrupted gently. "You got dinner. I'll cover dessert." "That's fair." He wanted to protest, but didn't he? Something about her independence stirred something inside him: respect, admiration, maybe even hope. When she left that night, Ethan watched her go through the restaurant window, a simple figure under a red umbrella, walking through the puddles with quiet grace. He didn't know it yet, but something inside him had shifted. The next week, he found himself driving past a small neighborhood where the sign "Grace's Little Oven Coming Soon" hung above an empty storefront. He stopped his car and stared. Could it be her? Curiosity won. He stepped inside the nearly bare space. Grace was there, wearing paint-stained jeans and tying her hair into a bun. "Ethan," she blinked in surprise. "What are you doing here?" He smiled awkwardly. "I was in the area." She laughed. "You in this neighborhood? Yeah, right." He helped her lift a heavy box of flour. The scent of cinnamon and fresh dough filled the air. "You're really doing this?" he said softly. "I have to," she replied. "I promised my son I'd make something that's ours." That word "ours" hit him harder than he expected. Over the next few weeks, Ethan kept finding excuses to stop by. Bringing coffee, helping fix shelves, or simply talking while she baked. Grace never treated him like a billionaire. She teased him, challenged him, made him laugh. Her son, Oliver, was a quiet boy with bright eyes. One afternoon, when Ethan helped fix a broken mixer, Oliver ran up and hugged him. "Thanks, Mr. Ethan. You're like a superhero." That moment, simple, innocent, cracked something open inside the man who thought he'd stopped believing in family. But soon, the real world came crashing in. One of Ethan's board members discovered his visits to the small bakery and mocked him publicly. The CEO of coal industries spending time in a cupcake shop. Have you lost your mind, Ethan? That same week, Grace learned the landlord planned to double her rent once the bakery opened. The dream she'd built with her savings was slipping away. When she told Ethan, she forced a smile. "It's okay. I'll figure something out." But he could see the tears in her eyes. For the first time in years, Ethan didn't think he acted. He met with the landlord the next morning and quietly bought the entire property. No press release. No announcement. Just a silent act of kindness. When Grace found out weeks later after signing her new lease with reduced rent, she stormed into his office. "You bought the building." He looked up calmly. "Technically, coal industries did." "Why?" "Because I believe in you, Grace. In your dream. And because—" he hesitated. "Because you believed in me first." She froze. Her anger faded into tears. "I didn't want charity," she whispered. "It's not charity," he said softly. "It's faith. You reminded me what that feels like." Months passed. Grace's little oven opened its doors with a line stretching down the street. The air smelled of cinnamon rolls and hope. Reporters came, but not for Ethan. They came for her, the single mom who built something beautiful. When Ethan visited that morning, Grace handed him a cupcake with his name written in frosting. "Your friend didn't mention that you're actually a decent guy," she teased. He laughed, eyes soft. "And your friend didn't mention you'd ruin every date after you." As the sun dipped below the city skyline, Grace closed the shop for the night. Ethan helped her stack chairs. Oliver sat nearby, doing homework. Grace looked at Ethan and said quietly, "I used to think life was just about surviving. But now, it feels like living." He stepped closer. "That's what you do, Grace. You make people feel alive." And before she could reply, he kissed her, gentle, certain, like a man finally finding home. Crescent Moon Epilogue. A year later, Harborview buzzed with excitement. Coal Industries had launched a new initiative, the Grace Project, a fund supporting single parents starting small businesses. At the press conference, reporters asked Ethan what inspired the name. He looked at the front row where Grace sat with Oliver, smiling proudly. He said, "Because sometimes, the right person walks into your life soaked from the rain, and reminds you that love, faith, and second chances are worth everything." The crowd applauded. Grace wiped a tear, and Ethan smiled at her, quietly mouthing the words only she could understand. "Your friend didn't mention that you'd change my life forever."